Hello and welcome to this run through VocalTeam, the app for iOS and Android and the web. The app has different tabs, the Home tab, the Chat tab, the Event tab, and so on. So we will go through those. The Chat tab, you can have a chat group automatically generated for the team itself, as well as each section if you're in a chorus or something like that. The director is invited to all the chats, so since I'm a director in this example, I have access to those. We have a song library, right now a very small one with only one song. The library also has a document library for example, board meeting protocols or music team related stuff. Of course, there is a members tab where we can look at them per voice or section, as well as a pure list. And in all of these different dialogues, you can easily search for the data. It's all loaded locally, so it's quite a quick filtering and so on. We have a group feature I will show you in a while. Let's take a look at the settings tab, where you can of course change your password. You can look at the current cache situation. Since this is an application, we can cache the learning tracks and so on in the app. We can have a link to a calendar. We can choose the theme color. We can look at different clarity, meaning basically the size of the fonts and how clear the application looks. You can have it in dark mode or a light mode. Of course, it affects all the different parts of the user interface, the dark or light mode. You can have it explicitly light or automatically based on the setting of your device. But in this case, we will have a manual dark mode. The Home tab shows the next event, and right now we don't have any. So if you're an administrator, you get this lock that you can click, and then you can actually work with adding new songs, song groups, basically to categorize songs, member groups like the music team. You can set up yourself, and of course the events. And then you can go back to the normal user mode, because when you're in administration mode, you get much more features that crowd the screen a bit. So we add a new event, select the date. So next Friday we will have a rehearsal from 6:30 until 8:30. So we set up the start and end time. We can give the event a short name. So in this case it's just a rehearsal. We can invite different parts of the chorus or the team, active members or specific voices only. So we can select which voice we want, if we want the directors or not part of that. But right now we will do a normal active members rehearsal. You can also write a multi-line comment related to that. So the active members are all the members that are constantly part of the rehearsals, while we also have a concept called guest. So you can have people that are part of some rehearsals or open nights or whatever. You can enter them as guests, and then you decide if you only have active members or active members plus guests when you invite. So you can add a multi-line description, whatever is relevant. This one can be expanded. By default it's expanded, but you can of course collapse it. You can also see in detail for the invited people of this meeting who is coming and so on. The event shows up in both of those tabs. So the Home tab shows the next event, but the Event tab shows all the events. So now we will add another event the Friday after next one, on the 9th, and the same rehearsal time. So we add that as well. The system will be allow you to add activities, of course, to the events as well. So this time we also just make a normal active members rehearsal, but we will also add a third one, which is section rehearsal for the lead section. So just before the 9th, before the actual meeting, we add a 1 hour section rehearsal. So we start at 5:30 and go until 6:30. And for this one, we just invite the lead section. So we write a small comment there saying that this is a lead rehearsal before the normal rehearsal. And then we add the actual lead voice or section to that, including the directors. So you see the home page with the next event does not change because the next event is on the 2nd. We have a reminder now of 3 events that we haven't responded to. So the next event we haven't responded to, but also we have 2 more. And since I'm a director in this test environment, I get invited also to the lead rehearsal. You can see that we have a total of 25 members on the normal rehearsals and only 10 members on the section rehearsal. Now we add an activity to the event on the 2nd of June. And here we can write whatever we will work on. So it will be a rehearsal activity and we will focus on the tag, for example, on a specific song and the song we select here. Now we don't have a huge song directory, but of course we have filtering features as well when we come there. So we need to add a new song because right now we only have this Heart of My Heart, which is a great barbershop polka, but let's add another one. So we just go and say add song. We write the song name. Keep the Whole World Singing is another world famous barbershop song. So let's add that. We enter the song key, which is E flat in that case, and it's a polka. So we add it. Right now we don't have any files added. We have just set up the song itself. So by editing it, we can upload files. And depending on the device, this looks a bit different how it appears. But basically we just upload the files and we say save. The system then, of course, will show you those files everywhere. So if you go to, let's start by adding that activity with the Keep the Whole World Singing. As you can see, we have only 2 songs, but you can of course filter and get only the relevant songs that you're after right now when you have a normally sized song library. You can reorder the different activities in the rehearsal. And then of course you see that we have a lot of other rehearsals without activities, so we quickly add those songs as well. So on the lead rehearsal we will only focus on Keep the Whole World Singing, and on the next one, next Friday, we will have both of the songs on that rehearsal, like that. You can see that we have a lot of buttons and things, so the UI is quite crowded. So when you don't do administration, you can leave the admin mode, go back to normal user mode, which is the way all your members, the way it appears. So here you can see that the next event is visible immediately on and that's the same event as that one, but here we can look at all of the events we have in the calendar. We can see who is coming. So if I'm listed there as a director and I press the green check mark, I get added and my reminder is counted down. So now I'm reminded of 2 or 1 or 0 reminders that I need to respond. The chorus director or anybody in the chorus can easily have an overview. Here we also see that on the lead section rehearsal, of course, only the lead section as well as the directors are invited. And you can see the situation there with the overview. If you're interested in a specific person, what rehearsals will that person join, you can just go to the member and expand that member and look and see what kind of rehearsals or events. And an event can of course also be a public appearance, a gig. And the bass is of course not invited, while of course a lead is invited to this lead rehearsal then. So we also have a group concept, so let's add a couple of groups. So we add a member group called the board of the chorus or the team or whatever, vocal team. and we add also a music team group. And the music team group and the board group for now is not available in the chat function, so we have the different sections as well as the full chorus. But the groups are, however, possible to use for events, so we will have a look at that. So let's add a couple of directors to the musical team as well as some other members. So we make it simple now, so only 3 members of the music team. We save that, and of course then we in the music team can see who is a member of that. And going back to the scheduling of events, whenever we add an event we can select that board or music team as the invitees for that event. Now we cancel this function. So we have a possibility to add section events, group events. We have good overview of who is coming. If I'm going to that event, of course, it's interesting to know that I can easily access all the sheet music or the learning tracks. The app has the feature to download the material up front. So you can, while you have your Wi-Fi available, you can click those download buttons and have sheet music and music in your device with the built-in player and the built-in sheet music viewer. And of course now on this rehearsal we will focus on the tag, so we zoom in a bit on the tag. The player has a feature to change the playback speed, so we can lower the speed a bit to more clearly hear the different changes, and of course we can move around as well in the player. If we want to have all the material available, of course we can click around a bit and see, and then if we go to the settings tab we will have an information about how much cache data we have used, and of course we can clear that cache as well. So that was a quick run through VocalTeam, so good luck.